go, and then I'll
Okay, we
forget
need
to.
a whole section here. Oh, I even have a mic. I have my own mic tonight. That's not good.
Oh, my.
You couldn't spare the cable?
Freight train coming through.
They couldn't spare the cable.
I gotta say my wife.
Who was supposed to be
Oh, we didn't need his. It wasn't personal, Ed.
Bull, China Shop, Linda.
Hey, I don't have my thing to read. What's it,
Okay.
S-140? No, I ripped out a bunch of papers and
Yeah.
I don't put this in my phone because you get sick of me saying, where's my phone?
Is that enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I hereby open this meeting of the Tyngsborough Conservation Commission under the State Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, C-31, S-40, in accordance with the Town of Tyngsborough Wetland Protection Bylaw on this day, April 2nd,
22nd.
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 First item on the agenda, 137 Pawtucket Boulevard, map 27 and 28, parcel 57-0 and 113-0, DEP number 3091028. Okay,
So,
they are,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to continue.
It already has
We already
been.
has, so you guys are good.
Oh, you don't have to do it here? Okay, even better.
next item on the agenda, 222 Massapog Road, map 2, parcel 32A-0, DEP number 3091029. Costas Malapan is applicant for after-the-fact notice of intent for construction of a granite block wall, removal of 300 square feet of beach sand, installation of sod, work within the bank of the Lake Massapog and within the 100-foot buffer zone, bordering land subject to flooding, 100-year floodplain in the 200-foot riverfront area and an unnamed perennial stream, continued from April 8, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue this.
Can we ask you, I'm just curious about the comments.
We can't talk about
Have
it.
to wait till next meeting?
Yep.
Okay, just curious.
I'd like to make a motion to continue this meeting until May 27th.
Second?
Second, all in favor?
May 22nd.
Approved. Okay, next item on the agenda. 55 Mascuppick Trail, map 32B, parcel 57-0, DEP number 3091030. Colby Sutherland, applicant for notice of intent, minor stormwater management permit to raise the existing dwelling and construction of a single-family dwelling with associated grading and utilities within the 100-foot buffer zone to Lake Mascuppick, continue from April 8, 2025.
Hi,
Good evening.
good evening. Chris Crumpus, CWC Design, representing my clients, Kat and Colby Sutherland, or soon-to-be Sutherland. In any case, so we are here back again. We had a continuance, as you know, from last meeting, simply to put in a dock, so we don't have to come back again, hopefully, for the dock. So I appreciate the mentioning that to us. Also, we also put downspouts on the elevations of the house to locate some of the elevations of where the downspouts would be, which was a request by the board, by the commission. So we put a couple of them on the, a few of them on the front, going down the sides of the corner boards, and then one or two on the covered porch on the front as well. And then there's two on the back. It's a little bit tricky because of the false roofs that we have on the sides that kind of interrupt the natural gutter downspout location on the ends. So we just put two on in the middle of there, and approximate to put it into thirds for gutter length. And so that just have it go down to a stone dry well underneath at the bottom of the side of the sediment. And then on the stormwater management, we just simply put on there that debris and leaves and debris would be cleared of all the dry wells every year, so we don't have to worry about anything being backed up. And happy to answer any questions you might have.
I'm all set. I'm all set with this.
So you did that, you did the dock, so that's good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That was everything, wasn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's everything. So, Motion,
Michelle, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second.
all,
Any more comments from the
well, I can ask, anybody in the public have any comments on this before we close it? All right, can I, second, so, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Is there a motion to issue order of conditions?
Jeff can do it, 'cause you're gonna be gone for 2 months, so I might as well get your kicks in.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 55 Muscuppick Trail, map 32B, parcel 570, DEP 3091030. Colby Sutherland, applicant for a notice of intent and an order of conditions and a minor stormwater management permit to raise the existing dwelling and construct a new single-family dwelling with associated grading and utilities within the 100-foot buffer zone to
Dated.
Lake Muscuppick.
Dated 4/21/25.
Per plan dated, what was it?
4/21/2025.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate all your help.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
You too.
The fun begins.
Yep.
Next item on the agenda, 170 Frost Road, map 18, parcel 7-0. DEP number 3091031. Drake Water Supply District applicant for notice of intent for installation of replacement well at the existing well, number 4 site, within the bordering land subject to flooding.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to waive the legal ad in the butters list.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. We passed to waive the reading of the legal ad in the abutters list.
Number 4.
Floor is yours.
Yep.
Great, thank you so much. My name is Mary Danielson. I'm a project manager with Ty and Bond.
My name is Lou Sirocco, Vice President, Ty and Bond.
So we're here on behalf of Drake Water Supply District. Per the, notice you read, this is a replacement well project. There's an existing many well sources on this parcel. This is specifically for the replacement of the wells, well 4 site. So right now, we're proposing one permanent new production well on the site. It is within the borderland subject to flooding, but a pretty minimal impact. We're proposing a 2-foot diameter casing that would extend above grade to meet DEP requirements. This is kind of the first phase. We have 2 phases of the project, but both are covered here in the NOI. So we'll have a phase that initially includes the drilling of the well, and then a subsequent phase with water main and conduit installation to bring power and a water source, a conduit for the water as well. There are some photos here that have been shown of the site, additional mapping and a butters list here.
Was that it? Yeah, that wasn't, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was.
It's, pretty small project, so I think our estimated impact was something like 6 cubic feet total. I guess that's really it, so we would welcome any questions. I know we made a little bit of clarification per the DEP comments regarding the FEMA mapping. We confirmed that the mapping is accurate for this parcel. Understanding the compensatory storage requirement, will abandon one of the existing 4A or B wells in place of the new impact for this well.
Pat, you have any questions?
Is this affecting any of the other wells in the area?
No, we've done preliminary pump tests associated with this that were submitted to Mass DEP, and we received approval of the project from them. It won't be increasing the total capacity of the well field, so there's no anticipated impact on any existing wells.
you
What?
have any questions or comments?
Well, I have just on, it has nothing, on the permitting, and it said, the applicant is a town entity, Drake, Mass. No, it's not.
Yeah, they're a quasi municipal entity. They're not the town of Drake
There's
or
a
the
lot of
town of
history between
Tyngsborough.
Water District and
Yes.
Tyngsborough, so I don't know if that affects any permitting or fees, but it isn't the town. Because I know, when we were in Tyngsborough, when they were testing the well, they were gonna put a well in, and they wanted to put it in conservation land, and everybody said, oh, it's the town of Tyngsborough. No, it wasn't gonna be the town of Tyngsborough. It was gonna be Tyngsborough Water District. And I think the public needs to understand the distinction.
Yes, this is the filings on behalf of the Drake Water Supply District. That's correct.
The owner of the parcel.
Yes, they own the land that this well is located on.
What else did I have here? I had a question on, what is it?
I have a question. So if
Yeah.
you guys are going to abandon
No,
it,
I was
how
just-
is
I thought
that
I had one more,
going
so.
to
Back.
provide compensatory flood storage? Do you wanna walk me through that?
Yeah, so the existing wells have above-grade casing of impact. Those will be removed, so any of the current impact to the floodplain would be, I guess, offset by getting rid of that and adding the new casing.
Jeff, do you have questions?
Yeah, you were talking about either what we were just talking about here, but where is 4A and 4B?
Oh, yeah,
Down by the bridge?
yeah, those green dots on this figure.
Oh.
Those are the DEP, Mass DEP numbers for them. I can't exactly remember which one's A or B. They have different names for DEP as opposed to operational, nomenclature, but yeah, they're the green dots, so we would abandon one, and then we'd put one where TW 25 is shown on the figure.
And the other question that I had is in, let's see, where was it? 4.1.2 describes temporary and permanent alteration to the bordering land subject to flooding. So what is the temporary alterations? There's no description in the narrative what that is.
Yeah, could you scroll down? I think it's this figure here. Yep.
One?
Yep, this red line shown is where new water main and conduit for the electrical for the pump that's gonna be installed there will be installed. Those are below grade. So there will be a temporary excavation. There will be erosion control installed in that area, but that would all be below grade and then restored to pre-existing conditions.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, thank you.
Negligible on this road.
I think that was my,
And one of the things that wasn't really called out, but how does the project meet the performance standards for a limited project? You do a nice job listing it for bordering land subject to flooding, but I see nothing there for a limited project.
Sure, yeah, I have some information here, but I understand that it's maybe a lot to convey word for word on the exact performance standards. I'm happy to walk through them if you'd like. Okay. Yep, so we have a reference, the exploration, development, construction, expansion, maintenance, operation, and replacement of public water supply wells or well fields, et cetera, and then the standards. Approval for the water supply that has been granted by the appropriate approval process. We received approval from the Mass DEP drinking water group for this project, so they are aware. It does not impact their Water Management Act permit. Such projects should not have hydrological changes. There's not going to be any changes to these. It's essentially an in-kind replacement. Best management practice shall be used. As I mentioned, we're going to use all appropriate, construction period BMPs. Mitigating measures implemented to contribute to the protection of interests identified in the MGL. We're gonna, of course, return all disturbed areas to their pre-existing conditions as described in the NOI narrative, section 3.4. So there's really the only permanent impact's gonna be the well casing, and we're gonna do the trade-off for the abandonment of one of the existing wells, which relates to the compensatory storage. So we'll be abandoning that by getting rid of any of the above-grade infrastructure. Standard no access road or structure or activity shall restrict flows. We're not making any changes to access roads. This small impact, as I described, of the water main, that will be restored. Temporary structures or work areas will need to be removed within 30 days of completion of work. Again, following installations, we will restore all of the areas. And then work and resource areas shall only occur when the ground is sufficiently frozen, dry, or otherwise stable. Yeah, we will make sure this construction is taking place when it's an appropriate time of the year to do so.
And I just wanted to follow up real quickly again on a question that was asked earlier about this new well that's gonna have no impact on other wells in the area. How's that determined, just for my edification?
Yeah, so I mean, in one way, again, because we're getting rid of one of the existing sources that's previously permitted and has been previously used in the past, we're not really making any overall, if you look at it as a parcel, changes to that hydraulics. We're not increasing any of the pumping capacity. That's one of the requirements of the Mass DEP permit. It has a protective radius, which is either the river or land owned by the public water supply, so it's all within their property, including the 400-foot protective radius. So, yeah, largely, I think any anticipated impact would be due to pumping capacity, and since we're not increasing that, there's no anticipated impact.
Yeah, and I would just want abutters and people to understand that, you know, we are really responsible for the Wetlands Protection Act. This doesn't fall under our purview to do this, but it's worthwhile asking the question and letting people understand that there is no additional volume that's going to be pulled out of that well than is currently taking place.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
The other criteria for this type of project is the replacement well has to be within 250 feet of the original well, and we're moving it, I think it's 45 feet from the original well.
So are you tapped onto the original well?
No.
That stream?
It's in the same aquifer,
Okay.
but it's not directly connected physically by
So it's a
Like a-
separate one?
separate-
Yeah, a new casing.
Yeah, that'll be new, but where you're getting the water from, is
The
that?
same aquifer as the original well.
Okay, would be my concern.
Yep.
That you're
And that's why
drawing
it's
from the
viewed-
same one.
Yep, and
Yeah.
that's why it's reviewed
Okay.
as a replacement well, because it's within a certain distance in the same aquifer.
Okay.
Is there one or two wells you're replacing? You kind of confused me in your first page, that.
They showed two.
Wells 4A and 4B, and then bringing it back, are there two wells? And then,
There are two wells, and with the Mass DEP drinking water program, they have a shared capacity. So at any one time, you cannot pump the two combined sources at more than the approved pumping rate. So this would be a replacement for one of those. So our new well and the remaining existing well cannot have a overall pumping capacity above the approved limit.
Anyone
so
questions?
which well is remaining? 4A or 4B?
I mean, it could really be
Oh, is there a
either.
reason? I'm
There are
confused.
issues with both of those wells in
Okay.
that they pump sand, and it's not an easily solved problem. So the best solution is to install a new well.
We would, of course, identify the exact one based on the elevation when we, get in the field, and we have a contractor that would be identified to the commission before construction.
Currently, there's no preference on our end. We could abandon either
Yeah,
one.
either one. They're essentially side by side.
And they're equally in the same condition?
Correct. They were both
Yeah, they were
installed at the same
installed,
time. They have the same problems.
And at the same depth?
Correct.
Yeah.
Both at the same depth? And the new well, are you going back down to that same depth? So you are on that aquifer that you're drawing from?
You have any questions, Ed?
I'm good.
So does that mean that you're eventually gonna replace the other well, because it is pulling sand too, or can you live with the amount of sand that's coming from there?
The other well probably won't be utilized, as it will destroy the pump if you try to pump it for too
Okay.
long.
So basically, both are gonna go idle?
Both of them are idle.
Okay.
But for an emergency, we'd like to keep one of them for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, you
For
know, just in
emergency
case.
backup,
Mhm.
Yep, okay. I'm all set.
Can I get a motion to open up the public part of the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to open the public portion of the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody in the public have any questions, comments? Can I get a motion to close the, well, yeah, close the public part of the hearing, because we'll be,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second.
There's a second, Nick? Aye.
all in favor? So, I mean, if we can make a motion. Is there any conditions we want to add on to this? Besides, they have to let us, they're gonna let us know what well anyways,
This whole thing, right?
you know, and are you gonna decommission one of the
Yes, I
old
am.
wells completely, or leave them both just for safety?
One of the,
Emergencies.
yeah, one of the existing wells, we will cut off, remove the pumping equipment, add a cap, so the, you know, underground will remain, but
Yeah.
that will be, yeah, taken
That's
offline.
another requirement
Yeah.
for the compensatory.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep,
And just, let us know,
yeah, I know.
let us know which one you're just, removing too, that's all.
So if you guys wanna add that as a condition, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other than that, I have no other questions
No,
or
it-
concerns.
DEP's gone over this whole thing prior to us seeing it.
There'll be additional permitting through DEP. That was just their initial saying, okay, you can go to the next step, and then we'll be
Yeah.
back in front of us for the final connection.
So can I get a motion?
Yep. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to issue a standard order of conditions for 170 Frost Road, DEP number 309-1031, with the condition that we get notified of which well does get terminated.
Second that,
And which one gets, capped?
yes.
That's what he said.
No, I thought you said permitted.
No,
I
I
second
said
that.
terminated, but
Oh, I thought you said permanent, sorry, I thought you said permitted. So, sorry.
capped is.
We're all
better
getting
worded.
old.
Yeah.
Second.
I did that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda, 24 Fletcher Drive, map 18, parcel 77-0. Timothy Porter, applicant for minor stormwater management permit to raise the existing single-family dwelling deck, shed, driveway, walkway to construct a new single-family dwelling, deck, driveway, walkway, subsurface sewage disposal system, rooftop infiltration system with grading and associated utilities.
Hello,
Okay.
good evening. Doug Lees from Land Engineering and Environmental Services here for Tim Porter on this proposal to raise the existing house at 24 Fletcher Drive and construct a new home. This is just a simple stormwater management permit. Is there?
It's a new hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I can make a motion to waive the reading of the legal ad and abutters list.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Waive the reading of the legal ad and the abutters list.
You have to notify a this for a stormwater management permit?
No.
So it's a straightforward plan. The existing house, you know, had a fire and needs to be demolished. So he's looking to purchase the property, tear down the house and put up a new house. We did test pits out in the front for a septic system between the street and the new house, pushing the house back a little bit and give him a little bit more of a backyard without the septic system. Roof recharge is shown for the gutters on the left-hand side, so straw wattles are proposed along the back to prevent any erosion from leaving the site. Right across the street from the cemetery. So everything comes down from the road onto the site, so there really won't be any erosion towards the road.
How high are they raising the front yard?
The finished grade of the septic system is gonna be about the same elevation as the roadway.
Okay,
Really worked out nice when we did the test pits. I was
yeah.
pleasantly surprised. So, that was
Yeah,
nice.
I know the area pretty well.
It does drop off from the road, so
Yeah.
the grades worked with us.
I haven't.
Do you have any
Eddie,
questions,
you had
Pat?
been over and looked at this?
Yeah, it's right across from the cemetery, I was just there today, so.
Okay.
The front yard dips quite a bit down, so if they're raising the grade, that's why I was asking,
Okay.
you know. They'll keep the water out of the the septic system, so.
Okay. No, I don't have a problem with it.
You have any questions?
No, I do have a comment, though. I would ask, just to be consistent with minor stormwater managements that we have previously done for a single home, is to put an infiltration trench along the driveway. And this, again, makes it
Oh.
consistent. This
Yep.
is
Yes.
what we've been asking applicants to do, but that's the only comment that I have.
Okay.
Doug, you were in on the last, when we did on Middlesex Road, we had you put it in for that little mall there,
Oh, yeah, but that was,
right? Remember, they had one drain and we had asked for the whole thing there.
that was a commercial though. I didn't know
Yeah.
you guys were
Yeah.
requiring them for house lots, so.
Yeah, I have no more comments, I was just curious how high you're raising the front yard. 'Cause I drive by there probably once or twice a week.
Yeah, I just looked at the plan. It might be about a foot higher than the street. but,
Yeah, no, that's actually better to keep the street water on the street to the catch basin. Bruce, you have any comments, questions?
The only question I have is the driveway already in existence? Are you doing a new driveway, or?
There's a driveway on the other side, driveway's on the left-hand side coming in now. There is a dirt driveway coming in where this driveway's shown, and there's actually some cars parked in it.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's basically a dirt driveway with some cars.
So
I
you're
think there
gonna
might have
pave
been
that,
pavement there at one point. I mean.
Are you gonna leave it stoned, or are you gonna put?
No, we're gonna put a
paved?
paved driveway, yeah.
Okay.
And take out the paved driveway that's on the other side.
Are they roughly the same in terms of square footage, or?
Well, this one's a little bit longer because the house is pushed back, so I think it's probably a little bit more. But if we do the recharge, if we do the stone, that'll, make up for the difference in pavement.
I'm all set.
I have
Yeah,
no
I have
problem
no
with it.
adverse questions or concerns.
So can we get a motion to open up the public comment at the end?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody in the public have any comments or questions?
Yo, left.
Can I get a motion to close the public part of the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second.
Can I get a motion?
I gotta go.
Order.
Get the vote.
Oh, yeah, sorry. All in favor? Aye. Motion to issue a standard order of conditions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to issue a minor stormwater management permit to 24 Fletcher Drive. Is there a DEP number? Yeah.
No.
No, okay.
But with the addition of
Just of the
infiltration trench,
Yep.
and since it's not on the plan, can we have our director just confirm that?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All
Per
in
plan.
favor?
Per plan, this plan
Yeah,
here?
Yes.
yep.
So, for
Dated April 9th, 2025.
So can, we do somebody second?
Linda did.
Oh, I didn't hear you, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Approved.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda. mission determination, 7 Swan Road, map 16, parcel 20-4. Build a 16 by 24 shed parallel to the existing driveway.
Good evening, Chris and Don Golden, 7 Swan Road, the infamous snow sculpture property, if you aren't aware. So what I'm proposing to do is disturb 16 by 24 feet of surface right there, but I'm gonna build a 12.5 by 16 to keep it under the 200 square feet for a shed. It's gonna be parallel to the driveway, a couple feet, 4 or 5 feet off of the driveway, and I'll do a concrete pad and a standard construction 2x4 shed, 198 square feet.
And this is in the 100-foot for the,
The stream, yeah.
But it's an intermittent stream, so it's not under riverfront, it's just within our bylaw.
okay.
So that's why I figured, I mean, it's also pre-existing disturbed grass area that they mow and landscape, so, I felt a commission determination was appropriate for this.
Yep.
Just gonna disturb the grass, put down crushed stone and gravel to pour the pad.
Yep.
What would you say about the 200, under the 200 square feet, what was that?
So, under the 200 square feet doesn't require a building permit, but it does require a conservation permit.
So 16 by 24 is way over 200 square feet.
So what I said at the beginning was I'm gonna disturb 16 by 24 square feet, or 16 by 24 feet of grass, but I'm only building a 12.5 by 16 shed.
Oh, but it says here, it says build a 16 by 24 shed. Okay, that's why I got,
I just found out, literally,
I thought it was 120 square feet on a shed.
No, it's under 200.
state of Massachusetts, I just went to the construction supervisors renewal training, and they said under 200 square feet, so I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer, then I'll just do 198 square feet and call it a day.
I think it's 200.
You sure?
I'm not sure, but
Not sure. I thought Tyngsborough was 120.
I think it was, and then it got raised to
I
200.
know, last time I talked to somebody, it was 120 feet. Sweden. A 10 by 12 shed doesn't need a permit. I think over 10 by 12 needs a building
Yeah,
permit.
I think it's 10.
I'll go to the building department and,
I think it's 10 by
Double check.
220 that.
I could be wrong, it might have changed.
yeah, no, I just did the training literally on Monday of last week, and they said under 200 in the state of Massachusetts. Tyngsborough may be different, I'll go on.
Yeah, under our
From what-
bylaw, it might be different for accessory structures,
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I said,
zoning bylaw.
I could be totally wrong. I just thought it was.
I think
120.
you're right, Ed.
It's 10 by 12, right, 120 square feet?
Yeah, under the zoning bylaws, under accessory structures, I would just double check that.
Yeah, I'll visit the building department and
Yeah.
verify
Just before you
that.
start doing it all of a sudden.
Yep. I appreciate it.
So, good. Get a motion to,
Michelle, I can make a motion to approve the truck determination for a
The disturbance,
Disturbance.
16 by 24 foot disturbance.
Yes,
That's it.
yep,
Nothing else.
correct.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
guys,
Good luck.
appreciate it.
Guys,
All right, next, Commissioner determination, 198 Massapog Road, map 2, parcel 26-0, removal of one hazardous tree.
so, this property, a few years back, you guys issued a permit for them to install like a patio. You can kind of see it in the front photo. But due to how close the patio was to the roots of the tree, in the last couple of years has been dropping pretty heavy limbs and has slowly been dying. So the residents asked if they could,
Cut it down?
cut it down because just recently, within the last couple days, that one photo with that limb snap like dropped right onto their patio, and it was a pretty big limb. So now they're getting very anxious that it's going to drop more. So
Mr. Chair, I can make a motion to approve the director's determination for the removal of one hazard tree on 198 Massapog Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They know not to remove the roots and all
yep.
that.
So they said in their application
they
that
left it
the stump will remain in place and that they plan to use a crane from M&M Tree Service to remove the tree. But yes, the stump will stay in place.
Yeah, you take a stump of that wall, come down with it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next item on the We did vote on that, right?
That's about road.
Yes.
So, yeah, oh, yeah, we did.
Next item on the agenda, certificate of compliance, 176 Massapog Road, map 2, parcel 21-0, request for certificate of compliance, DEP number 3091008, order condition issued June 20th, 2023.
So I've been going through our database and getting people to do the COCs. This was done, a couple years ago, where he bought the house and it had an old wooden dilapidated dock, came in before you guys, asked to remove the dock and wanted to put, the aluminum type of dock in. So did that, as you can see in the photos, and takes it out in the, wintertime and stores it under his deck, as a seasonal dock. So he's just here, well, he's not here tonight, but here to apply for the certificate.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a
compliance.
motion to approve the civic compliance DP number 3091008, 176 Massapog Road, issued June 20th, 2023.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Next item on the agenda, enforcement orders, 23 Chestnut Road.
Okay,
No new news.
no news.
Next item on the agenda, violations, 185 Pawtucket Boulevard, Vespy Country Club.
Uh-oh.
Trimming the trees.
So, yes, so I received a complaint from a resident that they were cutting down trees, so per our protocol, I followed up with a violation letter. I talked to Jack Luigi, who is, on the member of the board, well, because I didn't end up going out. But he said that they were only pruning a couple of the branches by the pool and then closer by the driveway, but they were not cutting down any trees. And that they knew that if they do want to cut down trees, that they're supposed to come before us.
So they, just so you know, my nephew did it, I talked to him Sunday, and they were telling me they were trimming the branches.
Yes.
So I do know that.
So who complained? I mean, that's private
Well, no,
property,
they just,
first of all.
no, they're taking a tree down by a wetland, it don't matter, if they think you're taking a tree down by a wetland, you can call.
But the funny part, the pool is like way away from
Yeah.
the
I don't
line of
know.
sight from anywhere.
Yes.
I just know he was there him and his workers were trimming branches, you know, because they were talking about how nice the Vesper was.
That's why I'm sitting here going, wait a minute.
Well, Doug O'Toole was the one that told me, so.
Yeah,
What happened to the
The washout.
washout that they had?
Oh, it's all done.
It's all done, and
Yep,
you've seen the results
Yep.
of it.
Yeah, I saw the results, it looks good. I actually reminds me to make sure they follow up with their COC. So I will reach out to Jack. They also did state that they are going to be in the process of filing to, the notice of intent to redo all the bunkers. He came to me a couple months ago and that they're gonna be doing redoing all the bunkers on the property. So that notice of intent will be before us probably early summer.
Yeah, because they're usually pretty good with calling.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so when Jack.
Good neighbor.
Yeah, when Jack called me, he sounded very distraught. And I was like, well, I just have to follow up, that's our protocol. And I know that it being near a bald eagle's nest is a really big.
Oh, the other day, 4-foot wingspan on this baby. Doug O'Toole and I was watching it, we couldn't believe it.
Yes.
And there's a nest in Vespa, because it kept going back to Vespa.
And that's why when Doug reached out to me, he
Yeah.
was like, can you please
Yeah,
follow up?
no,
Beautiful.
it's a major concern.
Yes.
Yep,
But
beautiful.
it is resolved. There were no trees being cut. Good.
Next violation is 95 Farwell Road, Parley Farm.
So this was a violation, and Pam can go through the photos while I talk. I was out walking the Hunter Norton property, and I came across some piles of brush that, clearly looked like they were doing some landscape maintenance on their side of the, rock wall, which is totally appropriate, no problem, but some of the stuff was dumped right onto the conservation land, and that is a no-no for land regulations, so I followed up, and Mark said it was gonna be done by the 25th, so that day I will follow up to make sure, and then I will go out and look myself.
Okay, so I've been up through there quite a bit. And if you follow the railroad tracks, the backside of Polly's, they've been dumping there for a long time. It's nasty. And I know how we had complaints about the guy that came here, the bird watcher. Well, all you had to do is go a little further up, and you would not believe what you'll see there,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and the only reason I was, I took so many photos because the piles that were near the trail, so it's like kind of, I don't know if you guys have walked it recently, but as you get to their property, there's an old, like ditch in the ground where the well is, where they can pump water from the Merrimack, and it was all filled with invasive vines, bittersweet. So they cleaned it up, it looks great now, but they dumped some of the invasive vines onto the conservation property, so I freaked out a little bit, because you can't just be dumping invasive vines onto native property, no matter like basically
Right.
whose property it is. You just shouldn't, you should
Right.
take it away and
Take
take
it
care of
away,
it the
yeah.
correct way. So I'll follow up with Mark, but he did receive it, and he sent me an email saying that they were gonna take care of it, so.
Perfect.
Okay, next item on the agenda, approval of minutes, April 8th, 2025.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 8th, 2025 as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Correspondence? No correspondence. New business, that's Trail Days, May 3rd, Shady Glade.
Still having this item.
Okay,
Last Thursday, or this past Thursday, before the weekend, once Pam's done
Oh,
writing, she can
yes.
pull up the photos. The homeowner of 134 Coburn Road notified me that the neighbor at 7 Florence Way, so his back neighbor, was cutting down trees. And he was concerned that they were on his property, so he brought me out and we took a look, and the, owner did more than just cut down trees. So they cut down trees right in the bordering land subject, I mean, not bordering, wetlands, so BVW, and as you can see, based on all the photos, it's pretty obvious that it is BVW, so I, have the enforcement order on my desk, I just have to send it out tomorrow, so you'll see that on the docket, but I wanted to let you guys know, so I went out Thursday afternoon. But yeah, there was pretty extensive, not like, there was obviously disturbance and damage done to the BVW. I mean, there were some stockpiles left from some of the stumps. You can clearly see that there was a stump grinder being used in the backyard to use the wood chips to fill in the backyard. So, but it's tricky because, and I guess it's not necessarily our problem, we'll take care of it from the wetland standpoint, but most of the trees cut down weren't even on 7 Florence, it was on the neighbor's property, so.
What street are we talking about?
Florence, off of
Florence.
Chard.
Off
Oh,
of
okay,
Chard,
okay,
If you
okay.
go up Chard, take a left there, that little road.
cul-de-sac, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'll be sending out the enforcement order. So like, see this one, this is right next to one of the intermittent streams in the back, which is like right on top of a BVW, and just a bunch of the trees were just left. So I'll be sending out the enforcement order, and, my plan is to have the woman rectify what she did. And come up with a restoration plan to fix the disturbance that she altered. Granted, it's not much, but it's disturbance.
Yep.
But I wanted to make you guys aware of it.
So for Trail Day 2, I did send out emails to them.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I haven't heard back, so if they, I told them to contact you or me. And, the other thing too is Hunter Norton is the 18th,
May 18th.
May 18th. So. Any old business? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, that gets pretty loud.